What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for thelines.com, playpicks.com, and we are going to talk the Jacksonville Jaguars as we head into the 2021 season. As we get going here, don't go anywhere without hitting that subscribe button. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up and then let us know how you're going to play Jacksonville in the comment section below. This is an interesting team here. The Urban Meyer era begins. This is the full betting breakdown that we have over at the Lines, absolutely free. Just click on the NFL tab. It'll take you to all the teams, and you can click on this thing and let you know. But yeah, Urban Meyer begins here in Jacksonville. They did some really good stuff in free agency as well, this Jacksonville team. They got Shaq Griffin cornered, come in, stud corner. They got Rayshon Jenkins, a safety who's going to instantly step in and start, a defensive tackle, and Roy Robertson Harris who's going to instantly step in and start. They traded Malcolm Brown, a defensive tackle. They got Marvin Jones, a wide receiver in free agency who's kind of under the radar, been one of those guys who's just sneaky productive. Veteran receiver to help out, you know, their number one overall pick in Trevor Lawrence. They signed a corner in Jamal Agnew. They brought in Carlos Hyde as just some veteran presence in that running back room. I like what they did, certainly in free agency. And then draft pick, we all know what went on there. They won the first game of the season last year and then lost every single game after that, which gave them the number one overall pick and gave them Trevor Lawrence at number one. They came back in the first round with their second pick in the first round and took Travis Etienne, who's Trevor Lawrence's teammate there at the running back position. Second round, they took Tyson Campbell, who's a corner. Then in the second round, they took Walker Little, who's an offensive tackle. So they did get at least a lineman there to help Trevor Lawrence as well. In the third round, they took Andre Cisco, who's a safety. They took a defensive tackle and a defensive end in the fourth round as well. But it was a good free agency period and a good draft for a team that was 27th overall DVOA and 31st on offense, and then 31st overall DVOA on defense. And so certainly not lighting it up last year, which is why, as we take a look right here at the Super Bowl odds, we got to scroll all the way to the bottom to find Jacksonville Jaguars down here at 100 to 1 to win the whole thing. Now, the conference winner, as you'd imagine, about half of that, and there we are at 50 to 1 for the Jags to win the AFC. If we head over to the division, AFC South, with two pretty strong teams in the Colts and the Titans, so you find them at 115 apiece, and then you see the Jags here at 7 to 1 to win the AFC South. This is a roster that still has some work to do. It's really young, so that's why ESPN probably has them ranked down at 28th, the roster heading into the season. But you're looking at a skill position unit of Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne. You have James Robinson, holdover from last year. DJ Chark, who's emerged as a pretty good number one wide receiver. Laviska Shenault was kind of under the radar pretty good last year at receiver as well. And then you add Marvin Jones. I mean, like, you got a pretty good skill set thing going on there. And then, of course, they drafted and in free agency improved that defense as well. I think they're still a little bit off, about a year or two away. But, you know, one of the things that can help this year a ton is Sharp Football has them as the fourth easiest projected schedule in all of the NFL. Forecasted at 6.5 wins, according to Sharp Football over there. And that is also where we find the number here at DraftKings. Over under 6.5, and it is not juiced either way. If you look at Pro Football Focus, however, they do have them projected at 7.9 wins. And I'm not even kidding when I say that. Pro Football Focus is a little bit higher on this Jags team. Again, the way they do it is they run 10,000 simulations for the season, and they take the average of what's going on there, and the average win total for the Jags in those simulations was 7.9 wins. And so if you think that the baseline here is 6.5, where kind of Sharp Football thinks, and then if you kind of go with Pro Football Focus, where they have them closer to 8 wins, you know, if you're bullish on this Jags team and think they're going to step it up, then you would maybe even take the over on the 6.5. They do, listen, they have some things to improve here. I mean, the 22nd ranked offensive line as we head into 2021, they do return all 5 starters plus the guy in the second round that they drafted. So maybe he takes over one of the positions there. They pass blocked actually pretty well last year. And Brandon Linder is a center for them and actually one of the top rated pass blockers in the league at that position. So there are some pieces here again to work towards this Jags team being, you know, not the bottom team and one of the bottom teams in the league. And really the big problem with this team is the defensive line. And, you know, this is why when we look over here for them to make the playoffs, the no is still minus 400. You got to lay $400 to 100, you know, and for them to make the playoffs, yes, is at 3 to 1. It's the 30th ranked defensive line as we head into 2021. Now, listen, there's room for improvement here. We talked about the draft picks. We talked about the free agency stuff. Clavin Chason is a guy who's going to have some experience under his belt now for this Jags team to come in and maybe make a little bit more of a difference. They still have Josh Allen to help with the pass rush and stuff. They just have very little on the inside, and they're going to need some guys to step up on the inside, because one of the other things that we kind of underrate here, it's not like stopping the run and having a good run defense isn't really one of the ways to win games necessarily. It's more one of the ways to prevent you from being able to come back in a game, or at least being able to allow you the opportunity to come back in a game. Because if you can't stop the run, what happens is a team gets up on you, and then they just run and pound and get first down after first down after first down, and then keep the ball from you, and they just protect their lead. And that's really where the run defense comes into play, and where it really hurts teams the most, especially teams like the Jags, who might not be playing with too many leads, right? It might need to come back. So they're going to need to really try to get some additional production here from that defensive line. Now, if I'm playing a bet here on this Jags team, listen, I'm not betting them to win the division. Here's the thing. I like the Titans in this division as it is anyway, but look, the Colts could surprise. Maybe Carson Wentz has a resurrection to his career or something like that. So I think the two teams within that division are far superior. It's not like where they have to just only overtake one team to get a division win. Getting over the Colts and the Titans, I think, is going to be too much. So I can't play them there. So if I'm not playing to win the division, I'm certainly not playing them to win the AFC or to win the Super Bowl either. But I'll tell you what, this win total here is pretty interesting to me. I think this team is going to be pretty froggy. I think this team is going to surprise some people along the way. And again, as we mentioned, projected to have the fourth easiest schedule in all the NFL. And that's certainly going to help a situation like that. We head back over to the betting preview over here and we take a look at this schedule. One of the things that helps them as well, whenever you look at the win totals, they play in the same division as Houston Texans, which means they get to play them twice. 2 free wins. Houston Texans are going to be historically bad. So Houston Texans, 2 wins there. What do we know about Denver? I mean, what do we know about Drew Lock? Could that not be a win? Of course it could. What about Cincinnati? Of course, with their offensive line woes and things like that. I mean, I certainly love what they're building there and love Joe Burrow and all that stuff. But, this team, that's certainly a winnable game here. You get down a little bit further. What about this Atlanta Falcons team? What about that defense that didn't really do much to improve themselves? What if you come back down here, the Jets, the Patriots, question marks surround the Colts as well. I think this team could be pretty froggy and could actually find itself winning 7 or 8 games. Wouldn't surprise. Still under 500. Remember, we're playing 17 games this year. So if you got to win 7 or 8, they'd go like 7-10. We don't think this Jag team can go 7-10 with this schedule right here. I think it's very possible they could. So if I were making a bet on this team, it would be on the over on the 6.5 wins. If you can find a 6 and get some push equity in there, I really think that that's a great bet as well. Full betting breakdown over here over on thelines.com, guys, and take a look at all of that with this Jag team. And again, I think they're a couple of years away, but I think they could be pretty interesting. What say you? Let us know down in the comment section below. Give us a thumbs up on this thing, and also let's go ahead and give us a subscription here. Really do appreciate you guys supporting the channel and supporting all the stuff we do over at The Lines. Good luck on all your bets here in 2021.